You know how they say sports brings people together? You know, sports brings people together. And people came from all around the spectrum to drag him for that take. Hi, welcome to Racist of the Week. This is where we expose the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can throw them in the comments. You can email me at admin@reesewaters.com. And shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. Today's nominee, Major League Baseball. And NASCAR, actually. And growing. This group's gonna get a little bit bigger.
But we all know that they plant these certain reports or they say these certain things, and you do hear the word arrogant. Why is he arrogant? Because he won't walk into the meeting and bend the knee, or he won't sit in the meeting and question himself or his abilities or his knowledge and experience in the game. I don't believe that that's arrogance. I want a quarterback that's self-assured.
The Philadelphia Eagles celebrated their Super Bowl victory at the White House today, but star quarterback Jalen Hurts did not attend. While Eagles running back Saquon Barley embarrassed himself by sucking up to Trump on the golf course this weekend, Jalen Hurts was absolutely right to stand on business.
Huh? Oh, is this about the RG3 thing? Ah, that's right. His safe space was violated now, wasn't it? Sports shows on TV should be about sports, not politics. And I can say that the reaction was not political so much as it was sports oriented. You know how they say sports brings people together? You know, sports brings people together. And people came from all around the spectrum to drag him for that take. Yeah, I don't think I'm needed there after what happened. We get Taylor Twellman, Jamel Hill. This one was pretty good. I appreciated David Dennis Jr. Breaking the color barrier in baseball in itself is not political. Why was the color barrier in place if Johnny has two apples? We got Zito, Arif Hassan, Bakari Sellers. Simply, this is not smart. I support this message. Kev on stage. We're getting comedy involved. That was actually pretty solid. Now far be it for me to give Stephen A. Smith credit for much, but that was actually the worst dragging he received was from Stephen A. himself.
Shortly after my comments on First Take, a couple of days ago, RG3 posted this on X. Quote, "Sports shows on TV should be about sports, not about politics." End quote. Then more than 6 hours later, he expanded his thoughts with this statement. Quote, "This tweet is not about Jackie Robinson. His significance can never and should never be erased. Breaking the color barrier in baseball in itself is not political. Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals in itself was not political. Jack Johnson becoming the first black boxing heavyweight champion in itself was not political. They all have political ramifications. They all challenge the status quo of racial barriers to fair play, race relations, and civil rights. That should always be acknowledged and never forgotten. They shouldn't be used as an excuse to push political agendas on sports shows on national television to an audience there to consume in sports content." End quote. RG3, respectfully, my brother, you sound ignorant. You sound utterly clueless. First of all, when Jackie Robinson integrated baseball in 1947, are you trying to say that race wasn't politicized in 1947 or beforehand? Like Branch Rickey for the Dodgers didn't specifically choose him because he knew he would need his temperament? As a former military man who exercised discipline as opposed to reacting violently to the racial venom that was thrown in his direction? You trying to tell me politics had nothing to do with that? You trying to tell me when Jack Johnson was fighting in early in the 19th century. You're trying to tell me that had nothing to do with politics, just race. This is what you're trying to tell me? That makes absolutely, positively no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, if Stephen A. brought that energy to Sean Hannity, we would have a whole different relationship.
You interrupt my day. I come to the studio to see you. You ain't even here, okay? This is what I keep trying to tell the Democrats. Let the man do what he's doing. Find out whether or not it works. You're going to listen to Sean Hannity. You're going to watch him. Let's see if these terrorists against Canada, Mexico, China, for everybody that he's trying to, be engaging in a reciprocation.
Let me ask you a
question. Let's see what happens.
You know what I mean? We would have a whole different relationship. I mean, everything you said about RG3, you could have said to Candace Owens, but, you know, I guess that ship has sailed. Kind of like how one would get from Australia to New Zealand, two places that she's banned. No, I'm here to talk about the future of Major League Baseball. See, you remember that video that I posted talking about the Pentagon restoring the articles about Jackie Robinson and his military service, and how I explained didn't really make a whole lot of sense, because I don't see where that would not be DEI, but everybody else would be. That seems like you're just reacting to them being mad. And if that's the case, you're just waiting for them to not be mad to take it away again. Case in point, don't be shocked if Major League Baseball strikes out Jackie Robinson Day with DEI fastball. That was pretty well done. Jackie Robinson Day is going, almost gone. And since Major League Baseball officials are sprinting in that direction faster than Ricky Henderson, oops, it's too DEI to mention baseball's all-time leader in stolen bases, who happen to be African American. So let's say the generic guy on the MLB logo. Why would those baseball officials stop there? After 28 years, they might as well unretire Robinson's number 42 for their 30 teams, just to make sure the U.S. government doesn't unleash its considerable wrath on their industry. President Trump's new administration isn't into diversity. And yes, that is a fact. That is not opinion. With a slight caveat, he definitely is into diversity when he can throw a last-minute Black History Month event and get the Black Magas down there so they can take a bunch of photos and give him an excuse to be racist for the other 364 days a year. Robinson's military duty and civil rights heroics occurred before he broke baseball's color barrier in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers. All that Black history, which is American history, vanished in a flash Wednesday morning from the Department of Defense website, but it resurfaced later that day. Such wasn't the case for other pages involving minorities and women because, outrage. The department said those pages violated the Trump administration's edict against DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, inclusion, Black, brown people, and women, and LGBTQ. I added those last ones, but that's what it means. Our values on diversity remain unchanged, MLB said through a statement released Friday, 2 days after the Department of Defense's Robinson episode. But then came a curveball from those baseball officials that was vintage Ferguson Jenkins. Hey, shout out to Terrence Moore for this article. He did the damn thing here. Oh, I'm sorry. Since that former Chicago Cubs pitching ace is African American, I guess I should say baseball's curveball in its statement after diversity remains unchanged was vintage generic guy on the MLB logo. As for that curveball, MLB officials claimed they had to scrub references to diversity from the homepage of their website announcing careers in the industry. They cited Trump's executive order that they said may trigger federal action against organizations using DEI programs in violation of his administration's interpretation of civil rights law. So after that opening sentence in the statement suggested baseball would keep delivering fastballs from its generic guy on the MLB logo, I almost slipped by saying Bob Gibson, regarding his pursuit of minorities, baseball officials responded with that curveball. We are in the process of evaluating our programs for any modifications to eligibility criteria that are needed to ensure our programs are compliant with federal law as they continue forward. Huh? Now you're right about that, Terrence Moore. That was a whole lot of words. saying that you're backing down. It's a whole lot of words saying that you're backing down. And keep in mind, that is not necessarily mandated, as we have seen with Costco and Target. How's that working out, Target? Yeah, how's that? Oh, you just a regular Walmart over there now, ain't you? Among other things, MLB officials are hinting of announcing, with sad eyes, of course, that in order to stay within the law, they will not have baseball's annual Jackie Robinson Day on April 15th. Jackie Robinson Day would end, period. Now, there you have an instance which is not unlike Black History Month. Black History Month was something which was celebrated begrudgingly. Of course, if he could use it for his own upliftment, right? If he can use it to try and launder his moves with the Department of Justice by throwing pardon czar at someone, then and of course, naturally, Kodak Black has to make a speech. So all people of African descent can feel proud. If he can use it in that way, then of course he decided to go forward and begrudgingly have Black History Month after much uproar. But one thing we know is that was his intention. And all of the other moves that he has made would jibe with getting rid of it. So how exactly long can we expect it to stay around? Why don't they change it to Frank Robinson? No, because he was black. He was black. Jackie Bradley Jr. No, because he was Jackie Gleason Day. There you go. Just make it Jackie Gleason Day. 42 would be his size. Not that I would be upset. Baseball's celebration that day often obscures the fact that MLB hasn't been African American friendly in decades. And yes, while I would agree with the dissonance involved in that, I wouldn't say that it obscures the fact. I would say Jackie Robinson Day is an annual reminder of how unfriendly baseball has become. What's that? 2 BIPOC managers and only 1 GM? That's right. Seriously, you feel the need to remove diversity from the career page? I was looking forward to opening day. I won't be spending my money on tickets or apparel this year. I will not spend time watching on TV either. Oh, that's right. Did I mention that it wasn't just getting rid of programs? They removed it from the career page. Major League Baseball removed references to diversity from its careers homepage following the executive order by Trump that could lead to possible federal action against organizations using DEI programs in violation of his administration's interpretation of civil rights law. And interpretation is doing all of the heavy lifting there. MLB quietly removes diversity pipeline program references from the website. Craig Calcaterra's Cup of Coffee newsletter flagged a curious change on Major League Baseball's website this week. Its diversity pipeline program has seemingly disappeared. Established in 2016 under Commissioner Rob Manfred, the initiative was designed to identify and develop front office candidates from underrepresented backgrounds, but with no official announcement on clarification from the league. Its removal has raised eyebrows at a time when the Trump administration has been under scrutiny for its stance on DEI policies. So I see you had a pipeline in place for diverse candidates, and that's how you got the 2 managers and the 1 GM. So I wonder what that's going to look like with no pipeline. Yeah, it's going to look real throwback. Yeah, it's going to look real pre-integration-ish. You know what I mean? Like the kind of environment Ty Cobb could feel proud of. Now, this isn't an organization where 40% of the players are men of color, but of color is doing a lot of work there. Of color is doing a whole lot of work. But let's stick with that 40% of your players are men of color, 2 managers and 1 GM. Now let's dig into the crayon box of colors. Yeah. Hand me that brown one. The percentage of black players in Major League Baseball has seen a decline, with 6% of players on opening day rosters in 2024, a slight decrease from 6.2% in 2023, and a far cry from the nearly 18% in the mid-1980s. Now, here's a scenario where I don't know what would offend me more. The 40% of the players translating to 2 managers and 1 GM, or 6% of the players with a diversity pipeline in place and outreach to the community, because apparently that is too high. You know, it's tough, right? It's a tough one. But here's the interesting thing. All of this was actually quite predictable. And we see it across the landscape of sports. Hey, NASCAR. This article from Mother Jones outlines how a right-wing group accused NASCAR of discrimination against white dudes, and that became the blueprint. Quote, it's not surprising a national legal nonprofit would allege in late 2023 that NASCAR had a diversity problem. Of the 42 drivers on the entry list for the 2024 Daytona 500, for example, only 1 was black and 0 were women. But that wasn't the diversity issue that America First Legal, a group founded by Stephen Miller. And yes, that's Stephen Miller.
America is for Americans and Americans only.
A senior Trump official and a mastermind of the infamous child separation immigration policy had in mind. Rather, in an 8-page letter sent to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, requesting a formal investigation, the conservative organization accused NASCAR of ongoing, deliberate, and illegal discrimination against white male Americans. I'm sorry, did you say, you said one black driver and no women? Could they be talking about the pit? No, because they're not talking about the pit, the stand. No, not the stand. The vendors. No. It must be the tires. It must be. That's the only non-white male thing I see. It was one of at least 20 letters Miller's group sent to the EEOC seeking the nonpartisan government agency to investigate an employer's diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility policies for discrimination against white, male, or heterosexual people. Other targets deemed woke corporations by AFL included Nordstrom, there it is, Major League Baseball, Tyson Foods, Anheuser-Busch, Morgan Stanley, and several other airlines. And I can't tell you how many conversations me and my elders have had about how good Nordstrom's has been to us. You know what I mean? We said, where would we be without Tyson Foods? And it is really Anheuser-Busch's consistent support of the community that has kept us together. And in fact, if they make Ripple, that would be true. The EEOC has not yet pursued lawsuits against these companies for the discrimination charges alleged by AFL, but that was the old EEOC before Trump named Miller his deputy chief of staff for policy, fired 2 of 4 EEOC commissioners, and appointed an anti DEI enthusiast to be its acting chair. Balance. The new kids in town may very well use the complaints authored by Miller's group as a blueprint for future but meritless EEOC charges. In the last few weeks, the magnified EEOC has already added a unique code for DEI-motivated discrimination to its internal complaint system. EEOC staff have been told to prioritize complaints from workers who allege they face discrimination for being American-born or part of a non-minority group, and Trump's new acting chair, Andrea Lucas, has sworn to prioritize rooting out unlawful DEI-motivated race and sex discrimination. Now, here I would like to highlight the specificity of raising the priority if you were discriminated against, according to you, because you were a non-American or a member of a non-minority group. Higher priority if you claim that you were discriminated against for those specific reasons, which you would have to come to the conclusion that we have so rectified the discrimination against the minority groups and the non-Americans that is to be put on the back burner. We are so post-racial that that has to be put on these are the woke organizations like NASCAR and their whole one black driver. I don't know what the target for them would be, but apparently one ain't it. I'll be honest, I think they haven't recovered since NASCAR banned those Confederate flags. That's where NASCAR banned them Confederate flags, and they have not been the same. And I actually gave NASCAR a lot of credit for banning those Confederate flags when they did. Now, they did it in 2020, and we knew what it was in 2020, but they were coming from way on the opposite side of the spectrum with that, and I at least had to acknowledge it. But I can only imagine, in the face of what they're looking at now, how they will respond. We've already seen how Major League Baseball responds, and while they probably share a lot of fans, I think the NASCAR fans would be a lot more welcome to the anti-DEI movement spreading across the infield. So if you're scoring at home, we at 6% of Major League Baseball's players, and along with people of color comprising 40% of the players, that translates to a whole 2 managers and 1 GM, 1 black driver in NASCAR, both institutions dealing with a push from a Stephen Miller-led White House that is looking to prioritize accusations of racism towards white men. I expect those numbers to fall. And I know that's like inconceivable, but I think one of the things that we have learned is like the again part and the Make America Great Again. The again predates our involvement in society. So we think of there being lower limits, but in actuality, there are not. That's where the again part comes along. Well, I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to all of the people that drove us away from that dark time in American history, notably, obviously, Jackie Robinson in Major League Baseball. But in NASCAR, how about Wendell Scott, who became the first black driver to win a NASCAR Cup Series race in 1963? I can only imagine how they responded to that. NASCAR has, actually, I can't imagine, because it happens in UFC whenever a black fighter wins. Then currently you got Bubba Wallace, who's a full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver, driving the number 23 Toyota Corolla XSE for 23XI Racing. I'm sorry, did you say the brother drove a Corolla? I say Corolla? I did say Corolla. I did say Corolla. That man he driving a Ford Fiesta. Yeah, he drive. Why they get that brother? They gave that brother a Crown Vic. Oh, that's crazy. You got Bubba Wallace, who's a full-time NASCAR Cup driver, driving the number 23 Toyota Camry XSE for 23XI Racing. And then you have Ray Caruth. Ray Caruth can't be driving. Oh, Rajah. Okay, got you. Rajah Caruth, another notable driver. Caruth competes in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, driving the number 71 Chevrolet Silverado RST for Spire Motorsports. And just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what that NASCAR diversity page is. Oh, you ain't got to scroll. You can get all the people. You can get all the people in the Wikipedia page, like all right there. Oh, my man from DC. Oh, Rajah from DC. Yeah, he trained on the Beltway. Yeah, you should have seen him on 202. Oh man, that boy was crazy. You know what I mean? Don't get him on 301. He a wild boy. He a wild boy. I feel like I can claim some ownership over him. Hey, if you ever want to come over off the Truck Series, we got a Crown Vic waiting on you. So congratulations, Major League Baseball and NASCAR. You are our racist of the week, alongside Stephen Miller and the EEOC. And I'm just going to put 3 dots because we gonna keep adding names to this one. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I'm excited to announce an addition to the family. No, not that kind of addition to the family. At least I don't think. Hey, baby! No, this will be in addition to our professional family. I'm excited to announce the new Patreon page. That is patreon.com/Reese Waters. For those of you that are looking for another option for membership, you're looking at some of the perks and bennies of membership over on YouTube, like early access to the videos, some of the videos that I post throughout the week that never hit the main timeline. You're looking for access to the members only lives or the back catalog. All that good stuff is now also available over on Patreon. There's also some Patreon exclusive things like the community chat function, which is kind of like our premiere that never ends. If you were looking to discuss the goings on of the day throughout the day, just like we always do in the live chats during the premieres, now you can do it. I'll be over in those chats. The mods will be over in those chats. So you'll be able to enjoy that as well. Patreon also allows me to release a newsletter weekly. Now there's a monthly newsletter that I've spoken about previously that will still be going out and everybody will be getting that. But there'll also be a curated weekly newsletter as well with some of the content that either has been left out or going a little bit further than some of the videos that we put on the timeline. You can sign up for that over at Patreon as part of their exclusive offerings. And if you would like to give Patreon a try, we're excited to offer a discount for the first few months of membership. And if you are a current member in deep water or troubled water and you would like to try Patreon, we can actually offer you a couple months for free. So look out for that code. That'll be hitting your inbox shortly. But as I always say, I am extremely grateful to all of you for making this moment possible. You sure it's no baby?